In one Bible story, let me show you what a true apology looks like and how forgiving someone can make them believe in God. You may know the story of Jacob and Esau, twin brothers turned enemies. Jacob stole Esau's birthright and his divine blessing. So Jacob stole all of Esau's inheritance, and Esau was rightly angry. In fact, he was so angry that he said he was going to kill his brother, causing Jacob to have to flee for him for more than 15 years. But eventually, God says to Jacob, it's time to go back and it's time to put things right. See, in his 15 years that he spent running away from his brother, he actually learned what it is to be deceived. He goes and stays with his uncle Laban, who deceives Jacob into marrying the wrong daughter and having to work 14 years just to marry the woman of his dreams. So when Jacob goes back to see Esau, he has true remorse. How does he show this? Well, it's not just about what he says, it's his actions. You see, remember, Jacob took from Esau all his wealth, and before he met Esau, he sent Esau all the wealth that Jacob had accumulated in the more than 15 years that he was running away from his brother. True remorse is when you seek to restore to that person what you took from them. Remorse may look like helping your friend or your partner rebuild trust in people after you've broken their trust by being consistent and transparent and reliable. It may look like helping someone to get their promotion if you were the reason they didn't get one in the first place. It's restoring to that person what you took in the first place. That's how he showed true remorse and how we can too. This is why God desires reconciliation. It's not just about forgiving each other, but it's about reconciling and people being restored to how they were before any pain took place. Now here comes the power of forgiveness. Jacob was so terrified to be reconciled with Esau. He was so sure that he was going to be killed for what he did. But when Esau comes, Esau says, forget about it. It's done. And to Jacob, the same Jacob who had wrestled with God, the same Jacob who God had opened up the spiritual realm, said, seeing your smiling face is like seeing the face of God. So restorative is the power of grace that it can free people from the burden that they're carrying and make them new. When you forgive someone and you say, stop holding that weight on your shoulders, put it down, you allow them to be renewed. You allow them to be restored, likened to the feeling when we have salvation through God. Your ability to forgive that person is showing them God's favor. It's an extension of the grace that we all feel from God. How did Esau do it? How did Esau forgive someone who took everything from him, who deceived their own father, his brother, the biggest betrayal? It's a hard thing to do. Well, you see, Esau was able to do this because despite being deceived, he recognized how God had been there for him. How despite Jacob trying to take all of his wealth, God had given him wealth in abundance. Esau says, I have plenty, i.e. God has provided for me plenty. When you can recognize and appreciate how God has stepped into that hole that someone else created, you don't need that person to come to you and try to restore it because God has already restored it. And therefore, when they ask, it's a sincere and easy forgiveness to give. Had he chosen to just focus on Jacob tried to take all of my wealth and all of my inheritance, he wouldn't have recognized that God was in the midst of it all. You see, while Jacob was spending more than 15 years still fearing Esau, Esau could have been spending 15 years still angry, still bitter, still not being able to trust people. But instead he said, hey, God has provided for me anyway. Esau was living a good life whilst Jacob was stressed. Therefore, to forgive someone before they've even asked isn't for them. It's just to say, God, I recognize that you have seen me and that you have filled this for me. That is the story of reconciliation, and it's so powerful.